Hey, everybody, and a super warm welcome back to English Listening Boost.
Hi, everyone.
I'm your host, always thrilled to be digging into something fascinating with my incredibly insightful co-host.
Always a pleasure to explore these topics and share what we've learned.
Yeah. Today, we're putting on our thinking caps and diving deep into the ever-evolving world of American pop culture and music, specifically looking at 2024 and heading into 2025.
Right. We've got this really comprehensive report here, packed with info.
It's like a treasure map almost, guiding us through what's hot right now.
Exactly. We've taken a really close look, combed through this analysis to, bring you what we see as the most important trends.
The artists making waves.
Yeah, the artists, the shifts in movies, TV, and even, how we're all engaging with entertainment.
Okay, so our mission for you today, our fantastic listener, is pretty straightforward. We want to give you a clear, engaging understanding of the forces shaping pop culture right now.
Without getting you totally lost in the weeds.
Exactly. Think of it as your quick guide to feeling really informed. Okay, so where should we kick things off?
Well, one of the first things that jumps out from the report is just how fast everything is changing, the whole entertainment industry.
It feels faster than ever, doesn't it?
It really does. And there are some pretty significant drivers behind this rapid shift.
Right. The report points to three key things. Social media evolution.
Constantly changing.
The rise of AI technology.
It's a big one.
And, of course, us shifting consumer tastes.
Precisely. Those elements are really creating a super dynamic landscape, especially, I think, in the music industry first.
Okay, let's tune into the music scene then. What's the main story there?
I think the biggest headline, maybe, is the growing presence of artificial intelligence. AI.
Ah, yes.
It's sparking a lot of talk, how music's made, copyright questions, even what art is.
This is where it gets really fascinating, for me anyway. The report suggests, by 2025, AI could be involved in 20% of music production?
Yeah, around 20%. That feels significant. Real shift.
20%. And it kind of hints at music creation becoming more accessible, maybe, but also challenges what artistic skill even means now.
Totally.
Yeah.
We're talking about AI tools that can, generate melodies, rhythms based on prompts, even full instrumental tracks with not much human input needed.
So potential for artists and AI to collaborate.
Definitely potential there.
Yeah.
Like generative AI creating original hooks or harmonies. Could be interesting.
But it's not all smooth sailing, is it? There are some serious questions cropping up.
Oh, absolutely. Big concerns. Copyright infringement is a huge one, like who owns AI-generated music.
Right.
Then you've got AI deepfakes in music. Potential job losses for human artists, producers. These are really valid issues. Lots of legal and ethical debates happening right now.
Makes total sense. Okay, switching gears a bit, let's talk about the platform that seems unavoidable in music discovery, TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok's influence is just massive.
Right.
It's way more than dance challenges now. It's become a primary way, especially for younger people, to find new music, new artists. Its algorithm has just reshaped everything.
It really has. It prioritizes those viral moments over the old gatekeepers.
Exactly. Makes it more unpredictable, maybe more democratic for artists.
The stats are kind of mind-blowing. Something like 75% of TikTok users find new artists there.
75%. And then, get this, 67% go search for those songs on Spotify or Apple Music afterwards.
Wow.
And in 2024, about 84%. 84% of the songs on the Billboard Global 200 chart had already blown up on TikTok first.
That just shows the power, doesn't it? A launch pad.
Totally. We've seen it happen. Artists like Lil Nas X, Olivia Rodrigo, their careers really ignited, partly because of that initial TikTok buzz.
Yeah, it lets artists connect directly, build communities.
Right.
Sometimes without needing a big label right away.
Direct connection.
There's that shadow hanging over it. Really,
Yeah.
especially for indie musicians, the potential U.S. ban.
That's a huge question mark.
Yeah.
For artists who really depend on TikTok for reach and fans, a ban could be, a major hurdle.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of hurdles, the report also mentions shifts with the big streaming platforms themselves, like Spotify.
Right, yeah. Spotify made changes, like stopping monetization for tracks with fewer than 1,000 streams.
Ooh, okay. What does that mean for smaller artists?
Well, it has pretty big implications. It seems to be pushing them more towards D2F platforms. Direct to fans.
D2F, right. So Bandcamp, Patreon, selling directly.
Exactly. Bandcamp, Patreon, using their own Shopify stores, selling music, merch directly to fans, bypassing the lower payouts on some streams.
Is that actually working? Is that trend growing?
The report says yes. D2F revenue apparently jumped like 30% in 2023.
30%.
Yeah. And the prediction is we'll see even more independent artists focusing there by 2025.
Interesting. Okay, let's pivot to genre trends. What's still king on streaming?
Hip hop and R&B are still dominating. Over 30% of all streams in 2024. 30.7% to be exact.
Not a huge surprise there. It's been massive for ages. What about pop?
Pop's still super strong, thanks to global megastars like Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish. Their reach is just immense.
True. Any genres seeing a particular rise or interesting changes?
Country music is definitely having a moment. Still got the big names like Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs.
Yeah.
Hugely popular.
Yeah.
But also exciting new talents breaking through, like Shabuzi.
Okay, yeah, we definitely need to circle back to Shabuzi. What else is growing?
Latin music continues its really significant growth. It's now over 8% of total streaming in the U.S. Shows that huge global appeal.
That's fantastic. Any other sounds bubbling up?
Yeah, Afrobeats, Afro House, and Mapiano, they're all still gaining momentum, expected to grow more in 2025.
And Afrobeats specifically originating in Nigeria, right? But spreading globally.
Exactly. Spread largely via social media. It just shows how these platforms amplify cultural trends worldwide. It's amazing.
That global connection is powerful. How about K-pop? Still a major player.
Oh, yeah. K-pop's growth is expected to continue. And we're seeing more integration with other industries, too, like Blackpink's Jisoo collaborating with Alo Yoga. Fashion crossover.
Nice example. What about some of the more, maybe, niche online genres?
Hyperpop, shoegaze. They're growing really fast in online communities. That trend looks set to continue in 2025. Shows how the internet can really nurture those underground sounds.
And for the rock fans out there, still holding strong.
Rock definitely maintains a strong, dedicated fan base. Classic rock, alternative rock. Maybe not topping the streaming charts overall, but very loyal following.
Okay. Now, the report gives us the Billboard Hot 100 year-end chart for 2024, the very top. What did that tell us?
Well, looking at the top 10, it really mirrors those genre trends we just discussed. Strong showing for country, pop, and hip-hop.
Let's run through them quickly. Number 1 was Teddy Swims' Lose Control.
Yep. Then Shabuzi, a bar song, Tipsy, at 2. Benson Boone's Beautiful Things at 3.
Got it. Then Post Malone and Morgan Wallen, I Had Some Help. Jack Harlow, Lovin' on Me. Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us.
Mm-hmm. Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso. Tommy Richmond's $1 Million Baby.
Yep.
Zach Bryan and Casey Musgraves with I Remember Everything.
And Hozier's Too Sweet, rounding out the top 10.
That's the list. A real mix, showing that popular taste diversity in 2024.
Definitely. Okay, the report spotlights some key artists who broke out, or are ones to watch. Let's start with Chapel Roan.
Chapel Roan had a massive 2024. Her album, The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess.
Yeah.
Her Coachella performance was a huge moment.
Yeah.
And her whole vibe, incorporating queer culture, drag culture, it really resonated.
And boom. Best New Artist Grammy in 2025. That's huge for her. Songs like Good Luck Babe and Hot to Go became like instant anthems.
Absolutely. Her success really shows how having a strong artistic vision, plus using platforms like TikTok smartly to connect with fans, it can lead to major recognition.
Then Shabuzi, who we mentioned hitting number 1 on both Hot 100 and Hot Country charts simultaneously with a bar song, Tipsy.
Yeah, huge achievement, especially as a black male artist in country.
And that song's interesting, right? It references Jake K1's Tipsy.
It does, from 2004. Blends that old hook with a modern country sound. Probably helped its crossover appeal. He also got multiple Grammy nominations in 25, including Best New Artist.
Incredible breakthrough. And Benson Boone, Beautiful Things.
Another perfect example of TikTok virality driving a global hit. The song's vulnerability really seemed to connect.
It's a recurring theme, isn't it? That emotional connection plus smart social media use.
Seems to be key right now. Authenticity matters. The report also flags other artists for 2025.
Oh, yeah.
Spotify picks included King Madi Afrobeats, Cameron Wickham Country, Gigi Perez Indie Folk, and Addison Rae Pop.
Addison Rae, interesting.
Yeah. And critics are also buzzing about artists like Dasha, Alana Springsteen, and Beach Bunny.
It really feels like more genres are getting a shot, and that direct fan engagement is just crucial.
Totally agree. Authenticity and connection. Okay, maybe we should shift to how we're actually consuming music, albums, trends.
Sounds good. Well, looking at the album charts, seems like the superstars are still firmly planted at the top.
Oh, for sure. Taylor Swift had a monster year in 2024. 1989, Taylor's version, and the Tortured Poets Department both spent a lot of time at number 1.
Can't escape T Swift. And Sabrina Carpenter also hit number 1 for multiple weeks with Short and Sweet. Shows the power of new pop stars, too.
Definitely. Looking at the Billboard 200 year-end chart for 2024, yeah, Tortured Pose was #1 for 16 weeks. Amazing. 1989 TV also hit #1 again.
16 weeks.
Wow. Sabrina Carpenter's album, 4 weeks at #1. Morgan Wallen's One Thing at a Time also had a long run.
So it highlights that mix, right? Established stars, lasting power, and big breakthroughs for newer artists.
Exactly. And of course, streaming is just fundamental to all this album consumption now, along with physical sales, digital downloads. It's a blended picture.
Right. So summing up the music industry dynamics then, what are the big takeaways?
I think it boils down to those three forces we mentioned at the start. AI's impact creativity and copyright, TikTok's power for promotion and discovery, and those evolving streaming models.
And how's that shaking out for artists and the music itself?
Well, it's allowing artists to connect more directly with fans, and niche genres can find global audiences easier than ever before.
That's the upside.
Right. The downside, or challenge, is revenue instability for many artists in this shifting landscape. It's tricky.
It's definitely a dynamic time, and these trends will keep shaping music beyond 2025, for sure.
Okay, let's switch gears completely. Film and television. What's the big picture there?
The report points to two main currents running through film and TV. One is the continued strength of major franchises, big IP.
No surprise there.
The other is the rise of really strong, critically acclaimed original work. It seems audiences want both things, the big spectacle and more personal, diverse stories.
Interesting balance. So, movies first. What's expected to drive the box office in 2025? The big draws are likely going to be franchise films again. A Minecraft movie, Captain America, Brave New World.
Ah, the familiar names.
Yeah, plus Mufasa, The Lion King, Sonic 3, Moana 2, Wicked. Established IP usually pulls in big crowds, that intellectual property safety net.
But it's not only about the blockbusters, right? We're still getting films that critics love, maybe telling different kinds of stories.
Absolutely. We saw some really powerful, acclaimed films in 2024, 2025, like Anora, directed by Sean Baker.
Oh yeah, that won big at Cannes, didn't it?
Palme d'Or, yeah. And Critics' Choice Best Picture. It's described as this modern Cinderella story. Mikey Madison's performance got rave reviews.
What's the buzz around it?
Praised for its nuanced take on sex workers, blending humor and realism, exploring power, money, relationships. Sounds really layered.
Definitely sounds like one with substance. And the other big one you mentioned, Dune, Part 2, that felt like a proper event.
It totally was. Huge critical acclaim, massive commercial success, praise for the visuals, the epic scale.
Yeah, you really needed the big screen for that one.
Exactly. Emphasize the theatrical experience. Star-studded cast, faithful adaptation satisfying the book fans, plus even more action than Part 1, broadened its appeal.
So the film market seems to be juggling these two things, strong IP and ambitious original film.
Yeah, it's coexisting. Audiences expect new chapters for familiar stories, but they also really appreciate innovative films, deep human stories.
Gotcha. Okay, let's flip over to the small screen. TV and streaming. What's keeping us glued to our couches?
Well, the streaming wars are still raging. The landscape in 2025 is super competitive. All the major platforms have really strong lineups.
Any brand new series generating buzz for 2025?
A few standouts. Common Side Effects, an animated comedy getting praise for expressive animation, quirky humor.
Okay.
The Narrow Road to the Deep North on Prime Video. War drama with Jacob Elordi. Looks intense, focusing on the harsh realities of war. Another animated comedy, #OneHappyFamilyUSA, described as a sharp, funny look at the Arab American experience.
Nice variety in the newcomers. What about returning favorites? There must be loads.
Oh yeah, tons. Wolf Hall is back. Reacher Season 3 on Prime, Doctor Who Season 2, Andor Season 2 on Disney+.
Andor.
Hack Season 4 on Max, that won a Critics' Choice Award, by the way.
Yeah.
The Last of Us Season 2, also Max.
Highly anticipated.
The Handmaid's Tale, Season 6 on Hulu, the final season. Yeah, Season 5 on Netflix, also wrapping up. The Bear, Season 4 on Hulu.
The Bear. People love that show.
Yep, expected in 2025. Only Murders in the Building, Season 4, Hulu. And Shogun on Hulu FX, which got huge acclaim, and a Critics' Choice win, too.
Wow, that's a stacked list of returners. Any quick highlights platform by platform? Netflix?
Netflix has returning hits like Squid Game S2, Wednesday S2, Stranger Things spinoffs, plus new stuff like The Four Seasons, Zero Day with De Niro, Sirens with Julianne Moore, and strong anime like Frieren and Blood of Zeus.
Prime Video.
Besides Reacher and Arrow Road, they have Etoile, The Summer I Turned Pretty, Wheel of Time,
Max.
Last of Us S2, Hacks S4, new medical drama The Pit, DC stuff like Creature Commandos and The Penguin, Dune, Prophecy, House of the Dragon S2.
Disney Plus, shoot, still leaning into the big franchises.
Definitely. Andor S2, Daredevil, Born Again, Percy Jackson S2, Star Wars, Skeleton Crew, Agatha All Along, X-Men 97.
And Hulu?
Handmaid's Tale Final Season, Shogun, Only Murders S4, The Bear S4, and new true crime, Under the Bridge.
It really feels like a dual strategy, doesn't it? Milk the existing IP, but also hunt for that next original prestige shit.
Exactly. The 2025 TV scene shows that reliance on known IP for engagement, but also the value placed on acclaimed originals for prestige and awards. Expand the universes, but also find the next Shogun or The Bear.
Makes sense. Okay, the report spotlights some specific genres. Sci-fi epics seem huge right now.
They really are. Super popular in both film and TV. Dune, Part 2's success shows it in film.
Yeah.
We're looking ahead to Avatar, Fire and Ash, Tron, Eyes in 2025.
And lots of these are based on books or graphic novels you mentioned.
Yeah, a lot of source material being adapted. On TV, same trend. Andor, Last of Us, The Acolyte, Dune, Prophecy, Netflix's Three Body Problem, all big sci-fi shows.
And there's that transmedia thing you mentioned, spreading stories across platforms.
Exactly. Increasingly common with these big sci-fi epics. Books to film to TV series, expanding the world. It creates a really immersive fan experience.
But it raises the stakes for new entries, right? Gotta be fresh.
Totally. High production values, fresh perspectives that's needed to stand out even within beloved universes like Star Wars or Dune.
Okay. Next genre spotlight, true crime. Still massive.
Absolutely massive. Seems like an enduring fascination in the U.S. It's central to podcasts, streaming.
We see it everywhere. Netflix, Hulu, Max.
Yep. Tiger King, Monsters, Under the Bridge, Natalia Grace. Tons of examples.
What's the appeal, do you think? Why are we so drawn to these dark stories?
Well, there's definitely something about narrating violence, deception, conspiracy. It taps into, like, our desire to understand why, the perpetrator's motive.
Trying to make sense of the darkness.
Kind of. And now you have TikTok detectives adding a whole new layer. Audience participation.
That's a wild development. How has the genre evolved?
It's gone from, Truman Capote's In Cold Blood, more journalistic, to podcasts like Serial really breaking through. Now these slick streaming series and social media deep dives. It shows this deeper societal interest in deviance, the justice system.
But there are ethical questions too, right?
Huge ones. Misinformation, impact on victims, families. Turning real tragedy into entertainment can be problematic. These TikTok investigations, while engaging, can obscure the real-world consequences. It's a fine line.
Definitely something to be mindful of. Okay, last genre focus. Anti-heroes. Still compelling.
Oh, yeah. The fascination with morally gray characters isn't going anywhere. It's got deep roots, literature, But it's huge in modern film and TV. Reflects human complexity.
We've had some classics. Tony Soprano, Walter White, Don Draper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those really establish the kind of white male anti-hero archetype, exploring power, crime, toxic masculinity often.
And that continues today.
We see it in characters in The Boys, Deadpool the Punisher. Max as the Penguin fits that mold. Even, arguably, the protagonist in Anora navigating her world.
But there's pushback too, right?
Yeah.
A desire for different kinds of anti-heroes.
Definitely. A growing conversation about needing more diverse, complex characters beyond that traditional model. Some research even shows immoral behavior in film heroes has increased over the decades.
Interesting. So why do we love them and where is it heading?
The appeal, I think, is partly empathy for flawed characters. We relate to moral struggles. But the criticism suggests we also want complexity that challenges power structures, not just reflects them.
So moving beyond just the brooding white guy.
Kind of. There's a recognition that classic anti-heroes often reinforced patriarchal ideas, ignored other perspectives. The success of shows with complex female leads, nuanced films like Anora. It suggests viewers want fresh takes, anti-heroes who maybe subvert the old tropes.
Fascinating evolution. Okay, let's talk platforms. The streaming service landscape, it feels like a jungle out there.
It really is. Super competitive. The report gives us a snapshot of U.S. market share. It's pretty tight at the top.
Who's leading the charge in the U.S.?
Based on data from early 24 into early 25, Amazon Prime Video and Netflix are neck and neck, around 22% each.
Wow, really close.
Then you got Max, Disney Plus, Hulu, all kind of clustered in that 10-14% range. Paramount Plus, around 9%. Apple TV Plus, maybe 7-9%.
And globally, subscriber numbers.
Globally, Netflix is still the biggest, around 277 million subs.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime Video, the numbers vary, but somewhere between 167 and 230 million, likely. Disney Plus is about 154 million.
Huge numbers. How are people actually using these services?
Well, 76% stream online TV daily, average time. About an hour and 22 minutes a day just streaming TV.
And nearly everyone subscribes to at least one.
Pretty much. 99% of U.S. households have at least one service. We spend like 8 hours a day on digital platforms overall, and digital video viewing is set to overtake traditional TV in 2025, about 4 hours a day.
4 hours just watching digital video.
Yeah. Streaming is over 40% of total TV time now. YouTube and Netflix are the biggest chunks of that time.
And how much are we shelling out for all this?
The average U.S. streaming household spends about $61 a month and has around 4 services.
4 services on average.
Yeah. So despite talk of subscription fatigue, and people do cancel, about 45% cite cost Americans are still heavy streamers, juggling multiple subscriptions.
So for the platforms, what's the bottom line in this crowded space?
They have to stand out. Unique content, good user experience, that's key to keeping people paying. Cost is definitely a factor, so ad-supported plans are getting popular. Users want value. It puts pressure on them to deliver must-watch stuff.
Makes sense. Let's break down their strategies. Netflix. What's their game plan?
Netflix is really morphing. Huge global content spend, like $18 billion planned for 2025, but also moving into live events, UFC, NFL games, expanding anime big time, pushing ad-supported plans hard, using star power in originals.
So way beyond just binge-watching series now.
Totally. They want to be a full-stack entertainment platform.
Yeah.
Live events, games, diverse IP,
Yeah.
driving subs and ad money. It's a broader definition of streaming. Big investment in global production, and anime shows that too.
Got it. Amazon Prime Video.
Prime Video is leaning heavily into live sports. NBA, NFL, Champions League soccer, big driver for profit and ads. Still investing in originals, but sports are becoming a main pillar. And they leverage the whole Prime ecosystem for loyalty.
So using sports to keep Prime members hooked.
Exactly. Leverage the base, high engagement live sports for ads and retention. Moving beyond just competing on original series volume. Spending big on sports rights shows that strategic shift. Originals are important, but revenue goals seem tied to sports and ads now.
Okay. Disney plus Tarot. Still all about the IP.
Very much so. Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, Disney animation. That's their core. Original series, films, expanding those franchises, their tentpole strategy, global expansion, ad plans, bundling with Hulu, ESPN Plus, all key.
So double down on the known worlds.
Pretty much. Their path to profit relies heavily on that IP library. Consistent franchise development, nostalgia, securing loyalty, especially families. Ad plans help monetize that built-in engagement.
Makes sense. What about Max? HBO Max's successor.
Max is about curating that HBO quality. High-end originals, plus expanding the DC universe using the Warner Bros. Library, developing Max originals. Focus is quality, creator-driven stuff, star power. Their strategy docs mention quality, audience focus, ROI, aligning with the HBO brand.
So lean into that prestige TV reputation.
Exactly. Maintain the HBO vibe, selectively expand IP like DC and Dune, offer a broad library. Differentiate through quality, not just quantity. Shows like Last of Us, Hacks, House of the Dragon are central to that.
And finally, Hulu. How does it fit in, especially being majority owned by Disney?
Hulu's strength is its diverse library. Current network shows, Next Day, FX originals, acclaimed Hulu originals, especially adult drama, comedy. It complements Disney Plus in the bundle.
So it caters to the audience wanting something more adult or different than Disney Plus's main fare.
Precisely. Next Day network content is a big draw. Plus its own award winners like Handmaid's Tale, The Bear. It gets licensed content too. Its role in the Disney bundle is clear. Offer that broader range of content.
It's a really complex ecosystem of strategies. Okay, what about emerging trends across all streaming? What's next?
Several things are bubbling up. Ad-supported tiers are definitely growing fast. Subscription fatigue is real. Hulu, Disney Plus, Peacock, Netflix, all seeing strong uptake. Make streaming more affordable.
Right. Offers a lower price point. What else?
Interactive content is gaining steam. Quizzes, polls, choose your own adventure like Bandersnatch. Gamification makes viewing more active.
Engaging people differently.
Yeah. And AI personalization is getting really sophisticated. Recommendations, yes, but also auto subtitles, tagging, adjusting bite rate. Netflix wants AI to match ads to your mood by 2027.
Wow, mood matching ads. That's specific.
They're also seeing niche platforms grow. Crunchyroll for anime, CuriosityStream for docs. Content gets fragmented, but it serves a specific audience as well. Live streaming is evolving, more interactive features. Live commerce is growing. Buy stuff during streams, like TikTok live shopping. VR is being used for immersive live events, concerts, sports. Low latency streaming is getting better for real-time stuff. And consolidation mergers, partnerships, might be coming too.
So the future isn't just passive watching. It's more interactive, personalized, blended with other things.
Exactly. Dynamic ecosystems. Integrating VOD, live interactive content, using AI for deep personalization, flexible payment models. It's moving from just services to these multifaceted entertainment hubs.
Super interesting. Okay, let's zoom out one last time. Broader pop culture trends influencing all this. Social media's ubiquity.
Oh yeah, social media is way beyond just chatting now. It's entertainment, shopping, news discovery, all rolled into one.
And the trends within social media itself.
Short-form video still rules. TikTok, Reels. AI is embedded everywhere. Content creation, analytics. AR filters are huge for engagement, especially TikTok. Niche meme templates for targeted humor. Live shopping, especially TikTok, is booming.
So shopping is becoming a bigger part of it.
Definitely. Sophisticated pop culture references are used for engagement. Brands build communities with gated content, social commerce on Insta, Facebook, and DMs are becoming key for customer service, personal updates.
So platforms are becoming these all-encompassing ecosystems.
Exactly, blending everything. Brands need way more than just posting content now. They need interactive stuff, community, direct sales, be functional everywhere.
Got it. The report also stresses collaboration and nostalgia, still powerful forces.
Hugely powerful. Collaborations everywhere. Fashion, food, tech, entertainment, all sorts of unexpected pairings.
Give us some examples again.
Like Starbucks X Wicked, Lego X Peppa Pig, Stanley X Olivia Rodrigo, Ruggable X Bridgerton, Liquid Death X ELF Cosmetics, Adidas X Bob Marley, Jimmy Choo X Sailor Moon, Swatch X Omega X Snoopy. Even Blackpink Lisa's graphic novel counts.
That's a wild mix. What's the appeal?
Novelty, celebrity halo effect, reaching new audiences, telling brand stories, sometimes supporting causes too.
And nostalgia. Still a driving force.
Oh, massively, especially for Gen Z, millennials. Reboots, sequels, adaptations, products, referencing old pop culture. It's constant. Stranger Things 80s vibe, Fleetwood Mac blowing up on TikTok.
Why do we love nostalgia so much?
Comfort, escapism, happiness maybe? Connecting with familiar, often positive past feelings. Shared history.
So how do collabs and nostalgia intersect?
It suggests we want both things. Comfort from the past and novelty from unexpected pairings. It's like safe excitement, new stuff, but rooted in the familiar. Reduces risk for brands, leverages existing fans, but still feels freshish.
But you can overdo it, right? Get trend fatigue.
For sure. If it doesn't feel authentic, people switch off.
Okay, last point. The overall cultural mood. What's the vibe?
It's kind of tense. Interesting tension. On one hand, this rise of indulgence, messiness, a reaction against lockdown maybe, and those perfect online images.
Messiness. How does that show up?
Things like girlhood aesthetics, luxe nightlife, sleazy core, embracing imperfection, accidental looks, being relatable, gothic styles, alt-rock with that raw, desperate vibe.
Oh.
It fits, too. Less polished, more emotional.
A move away from curated perfection. What else?
Still interested in moral ambiguity, scammer worship, complex characters.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, maybe a swing towards sincerity, minimalism, purpose, if we get overwhelmed by all the voids.
More cynical escapism.
Or that, global anxieties continue, the popularity of true crime, anti-heroes. It all ties into exploring, or maybe just acknowledging, the messier, complex parts of life and humanity.
So it's a real mix of escapism and maybe a search for something real underneath.
Exactly. Embracing messiness rejects the fake perfection. Vulnerable artists like Benson Boone, the raw emotion in Chappell Roan, that points to wanting authenticity. But then indulgence trends and true crime offer escape or engagement with darkness. It suggests we're navigating a complex emotional space, seeking comfort and nostalgia, but also drawn to the chaotic or transgressive.
It's a really insightful way to look at it.
Okay.
Bringing it all home. Key takeaways from this deep dive into 2024-2025 U.S. pop culture and music.
Well, it's super dynamic, right?
Right.
Shaped by tech like AI, the huge power of social media like TikTok. Streaming is changing fast, artists connecting directly with fans, music genres diversifying. Authenticity is key.
And film and TV.
Film and TV, it's that mix.
Yeah.
Big franchises and acclaimed originals, sci-fi, true crime, anti-heroes still popular. Streaming wars continue, platforms using different strategies, ad tiers growing, interactive content emerging.
Underneath it all.
Underneath, you've got pervasive social media, the pull of collabs and nostalgia, and this complex cultural mood balancing indulgence with a search for authenticity.
It's definitely a landscape in constant motion. Technology, consumer behavior, cultural shifts, all driving it. Okay, so final thought for you, our listener, to chew on. Given this incredibly rapid pace of change we've discussed, how might these trends evolve or even completely flip in the next few years? What totally new platform, what new tech might just pop up and disrupt everything we've just talked about?
Ooh, good question. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
It really is. Thanks so much for walking us through all that. Always fascinating.
My pleasure. Love diving in.
And a huge thank you to you, our wonderful listener, for tuning in to English Listening Boost. Until next time, stay curious.